Hi, I'm Nate. I'm going to be presenting today on becoming a professional hunting guide and hunting outfitter. I'm going to be going over some of the methods used while hunting and guiding, as well as becoming an outfitter and how we take care of clients in the field, as well as a lot of the gear that we use in the field, as some of it's a little more specialized than just standard backpacking gear. When hunting in the field with a paying client, the first thing you want to make sure is that they are happy, safe, warm, and content. Getting the trophy or an animal on a hunt is a secondary purpose of hunting. The primary purpose is to get into the wilderness, enjoy yourself, and to hopefully get a nice big hunk of meat for the freezer for the rest of the year. Not always the case, that's why it's called hunting and not killing. I opened the video wearing the face veil to illustrate the point that when you're a hunting guide, you want to be as hidden as possible. Now, while it's true that in most places in the country you do have to wear hunting orange, which I will show you a little bit of later, as a guide you do not have to wear the orange. This is very beneficial. Most animals can't see the orange. However, when you're completely camouflaged, hidden in the woods, and you have your client behind you 20 yards, when you're able to call the animal in towards you, that's very beneficial because the animal can't see you, will walk right past you and get closer to your client. Some of the items that we use for while we're hunting and guiding is my binocular harness here. This is my lifeblood. This is where all the action happens all through the day. It's a little specialized. It's got nice long straps here on the sides that I can adjust to no matter what, if I'm wearing a big puffy coat or just like this on a nice summer day while I'm hunting. In here I got a nice quiet opening flap, that way the animals can't hear you. It contains my binoculars. These are Bushnell 10x42 trophies. They're the Bone Collector Edition. I've had great success with these. They're only about $150, so you don't need to spend thousands of dollars on a good set of binos for hunting. Let's tuck away right in there. I also have a safety strap on them that if I drop them, they don't go anywhere. Very nice to not break your binos when you're in the field. They stay where you want them. Here on the sides, we've got a few pouches, zipper pockets, and other items. It's where I keep all my calls. This side is my turkey calls. I will demonstrate some calling here in a little while. I have elk calls on this side. This is also an elk call, and I have a larger bugle call, which I will show later in the video as well. Also on this side of my pouch, I have my compass. Do not go in the woods without a good Linsatic compass. Those of you who have not taken an orienteering and route finding class yet, you will become familiar with this very quickly. This military style compass is my personal favorite. It's what I used in the military. It's what I got comfortable with. The civilian models are a little different, but you never want to be without your compass, and a good case to keep it safe, secure, and always where you know where it's at. With a compass, make sure you have your maps. I have my maps in my bag. I'll show those in a minute. Over here, every hunter's and every hunting guide's prized possession is my rangefinder. Without this rangefinder, I'm not going to be able to tell my client where to shoot, where to aim on the animal, and it gives me a better judgment of what my terrain is around me in order to set up a client and get them in the right position, or also get myself in the right position when I'm hunting. Excuse me. This is a Nikon Rifle Hunter 1000. It goes out to 1,000 yards. I've actually spotted at about 1,200 yards with this thing, so it's very accurate. About $180 or $280 for this, excuse me. A little bit more pricey, but as a hunting guide, I'm able to write off all of my items. Everything I own and buy is tax deductible because I use it in the field. Behind me here, I have another piece of item, or another item of gear I use where I'm riding a horse. This is called a rein slicker. It's extra long. It's designed to ride a horse. You see in the back it's got a slit and straps that tie around your legs. So when you're getting on and off of an animal, the jacket stays with you. This is completely waterproof. It's oilskin. I also have an oilskin hat for when it's downpouring rain. They are a great combination when you're riding backcountry on animals and getting brush and trees and stuff all over you. They're very durable. They don't cut and scratch like maybe a puffy jacket would. I also have my good old-fashioned Army field jacket for the days it's not downpouring rain and it's just nice and cold and snowy. This thing's a lifesaver. It's got an extra liner that goes in it. One of my favorites. This is a hat I normally wear right here on my head. It's a boonie cap, protects me from the sun and elements on all sides. If it's nice and sunny out, I'll go ahead and throw on my cowboy hat. You know, the animals, it's not completely camouflaged, but this hat keeps my head cool, keeps the sun off of me, and it looks good riding a horse. I'm going to go ahead and talk about clients for a minute in the backcountry. Clients are our number one concern in the backcountry, and you know, in order to keep them happy, it takes a lot. Getting up early in the morning, and early I mean 3 o'clock, getting animals ready. The clients get up about 4, have some coffee, have some breakfast, get them out in the field. Most days it's snowy, it's cold, it's raining, it's windy, it's blowing, and they're uncomfortable. So the keys of guiding is to make your client comfortable. Not just finding the animal. It's always helpful to find some animals, but if you keep a client happy and content, even if they don't see an animal all week, they're going to come back and they're going to enjoy their hunt the week that they're there. Our clients last season didn't kill anything. We had 2 clients kill and an animal, and that was it. But every other client that was up there had a great time, enjoyed the guides, enjoyed the services we provided. And you know, we also talk about other things in the woods, not just hunting. I've taken other classes at Red Rocks that have allowed me to have the knowledge and ability to guide people and to teach them about some wilderness plants, some edible berries and things like that, wilderness survival skills. And I'm able to use those items to not only help in the field, but also send them home with information that they can use later on another hunt perhaps. Hunting with clients can be a nightmare, especially when you have multiple clients and you're trying to hunt one area. I carry walkie-talkies with me. They're for safety and emergency kind of purposes only. You're not allowed to communicate animal movements over walkie-talkies or any kind of communication like that about animal movements. So the walkies I carry are for the safety of the client as well as, you know, ease of communication. I don't have to hike 1.5 miles to go ask Jim if he's okay when I can just ask him on the radio and stay with another client. Keeping clients happy also entails keeping them warm. Right now I'm going to go ahead and go through some of my gear here in my bag that I carry specifically for my clients to make sure that they're happy, satisfied, and that they have a great experience in the woods. So this is my backpack that I carry every day as a guide. This is my day pack. It has everything I need, everything my clients need in it for the day, and then some. I've always been one to carry extra equipment because I don't want to be without it. I'd rather carry a little extra weight all day than have to go without something that I really need, or that my client really needs. I weighed my pack earlier. Right now it's sitting at 32.5 pounds, so it's not too bad. Carrying it around every day, humping up and down mountains, you can get a little wearing on you, but after about 2 weeks, you just better for it, a lot stronger. I was in the best shape of my life last year when I was guiding. This is a very nice backpack. I bought this specifically for hunting guiding. This backpack cost me $800. So out of the price range of a lot of people just for a simple hunting backpack. However, this pack is completely modular. I can change components around on it. It's designed for my body. They take my actual body measurements for this pack. And you see here I got components on the sides. I carry my flashlight, my GPS. I've got a measuring tape for when we kill bull elk and buck deer. I can measure their antlers on the spot and give the client an idea of how large they are. GPS, very crucial. Waterproof GPS, very crucial, especially keeping it where I do in an outside pouch like this. It's been soaked numerous times. It's a marine edition pouch, or a GPS, so it stays where it should. TP, always vital. I actually use organic paper towels because they do actually decompose in the woods. You don't have to pack everything out. My wind checker right here is the other lifeblood besides the rangefinder and binos. Here you take a little bit and you puff it up in the air and it'll tell you which way the wind's blowing. And this is what has gotten people to be able to hunt animals for millennia, is being able to play the wind. If you don't use the wind to your advantage, then you're never going to get an animal. Animals have the higher sense of smell, and so if you're downwind of an animal, you're going to be on the losing end of that battle. So a lot of people go out and buy these scent sprays, and I think those are a gimmick. People have been hunting for millennia and millennia, as I said, without any hunting sprays. And so if you just play the wind and you know your animal and you know what you're doing, chances are you're going to have a successful hunt. I just wanted to don my pack so you see about what I'm carrying every day while I'm out guiding. Go ahead and go through a few items here. I'm going to go ahead and start in the brain of my pack here. As I mentioned a moment ago, it's always vital to keep clients warm. This is going to be my warm pouch. Everything I keep up here is to keep me and my client warm. And for emergency items, I have two light sticks. I have a piece of fat wood they shave up for making fire tinder. Hot hands, hand warmers. Always love my hot hands. Got my extra headlamp in there in a bag. 2 extra lighters, at least at all times 2. And a pack full of waterproof box full of matches. Okay. I also at all times carry cotton and Vaseline, which actually needs to be refilled. As I stated, my maps in a bag with a pencil that go with my compass. My walkie-talkies that I use to communicate with my clients, once again on emergency purposes or for safety only, not to communicate about animal activity, which is illegal. My real headlamp I use on a daily basis. I have an inflatable lantern. Most of the time we're in the woods hunting, we're either out before the sun's up and coming back before the sun, or when the sun's down. And so I always carry this disposable inflatable lantern with me because you just never know and you need some extra light out there. I do have a mouth spray that is a dead downwind scent killer. I do carry that with me simply because all the calls that I use are mouth calls and you don't want the animal smelling that downrange. Another light stick and my P-cord. I always have some P-cord and a couple extra fire sticks right there as well. So I always have plenty of stuff to start a fire with. That's never an issue for me. Problem is maybe trying to find some dry wood in the wilderness. So as I come into my actual rest of my pack here, once again I carry most of the things that I carry are for my client. I have an MSR stove with me. That's for them. If they want to heat something up in the middle of the day, have some lunch, we want to boil some water, make something in the woods, that's not a problem. I carry that for them. Piece of webbing I use to wrap around a tree when you have to do your business in the woods. I always carry my Gerber and my pocket boy saw. This saw I use on a constant basis to clear shooting angles for clients. So we set up somewhere and I need to clear out a couple trees. Works great. We're a little bit expensive for what it is, but it's a lifesaver. I love that little saw. Shovel, also for doing business. I always carry my hatchet in the woods just because you never know what you might have to cut down. If I need to start a larger fire on an extra cold day for some clients, it's easy to limb down some trees with my axe. All my extra batteries for my headlamp, my flashlights, and my my other headlamp, I guess. Couple headlamps. As I mentioned earlier, here's my Hunter Orange. I do carry my Hunter Orange, however, I do not wear my Hunter Orange. If I'm actively rifle hunting, I wear it by law. If I'm archery hunting or guiding, it stays in my pack. Once I get an animal down, I will put this on just to make sure that when I'm carrying a rack out of the woods, people don't mistake me for a live animal. My MSR water filter, carry at all times. I also usually, sometimes I'll carry the MSR, sometimes I'll just carry some Aqua Mira. This is my lunch container. I always have 2 sandwiches with me along with a bunch of other snacks. My MSR stove that, like I said, I carry for clients' safety and comfort, as well as a little pot here. I'm losing my hunting calls all over. And here I also have a heavy-duty black plastic trash bag, very useful for any kind of waterproofing scenario. And I also have my wet weather gear. That's half of my wet weather gear. Here I have game bags. These game bags are what you use when you quarter out an animal. You open up the bag, they're about this long, and you shove the quarters down in there, and then you can pack these out either on a pack saddle with a horse or on your back if you have to. And here I also got all my extra long johns, socks, underwear, all my dry stuff. The one I never hope I have to use is my first aid kit. That one stays in the backpack, I hope. And my other half of my waterproof gear. Here I have stuff for my clients as well. This is a rolled up piece of foam for them to sit on. And a lot of times, as I said, it'll be windy and blowing out in the woods, and so I'll unroll this poncho, string it between a couple of trees, and make us a nice little windbreak. That way we don't have to sit there in the wind the whole day. I got my camelback. It's a little empty right now. I just came back from my hunting trip, so a little empty, but I always have my camelback with me as well. So as I said, this pack's made to carry game animals. Once the animal's in a game bag, you kind of set the game bag right here in the pouch. You can strap it up in here. The whole pack clips around the game, around the animal hide or quarters. You snap it all back together, throw a back strap up here in the top or something, and hike it on out in the woods. And of course, the all-important bear spray. As you can see, there's quite a bit of equipment that I carry. And like I said, not just for me, but for my clients' benefit as well. I wanted to just go over a couple of calls real quick. This is one of my elk calls. I have several types. They all make a little bit of a different tone. They have different heights on the reeds, or some of them have double reeds. This one's got an extra tall cone on the top of it. I can try to get these a little closer here so you can see some of those. These are called mouth reeds. The turkey calls, it's oddly enough, the turkey calls and the coyote calls all look about the same. This one's a coyote call here, but it kind of looks like this one here, and that's an elk call. And you can, just based on how you blow on these calls, you can make generally about the same sound out of each one of them. Here's one of my turkey calls. It's got a turkey foot on there. So I can demonstrate here. I'll start with an elk call. Get it in the roof of your mouth. That's a cow elk. So that's going to get a big bull elk excited and get him to come on in there. Here's a turkey call. Here's one of my coyote calls. I got a couple different styles of coyote calls, some higher, some lower. This is also an elk estrus call, a female cow call. Different style, it's a press reed. You press down right here with your lips and you blow through. This rubber band adjusts the pitch. So you see it's a lot louder than the mouth read. I use the mouth reads when I know the animals are a little closer. If I need to get a call out farther, definitely go with that one. It's actually called a hot mama. This is called a bugle. This is what not only bull elk bugle, cow elk bugle as well. But this is an elk bugle. I like this one. It's collapsible. It's called the collapsible, B-U-L-O. And you bite down here on that part, and you blow through this reed, and end up with something a little bit like this. I hope it doesn't blow out the speaker on the phone too much. So when you're doing that, you got to add a little bass in your voice when you're blowing through there to get that raspiness out of it. Bugling is probably the best thing to do to get a response out of an animal. Cow calling works, but normally they won't bugle back. If you're trying to locate an animal early in the morning, you bugle out there and they'll bugle back, and you and your client get back on the horse and head off in that direction. Find a good spot to set up short of the animals. Do a little glassing. Glassing, once again, is with the binoculars. As a guide, I probably spend 70% of my time, 80% looking through these. I've gotten to become very comfortable sitting on the ground with my elbows on my knees. It takes a lot. It burns your eyes out after a little while, but that's about the only way to find some animals when you're looking for dark colored animals in the dark colored timber. Well, that's my presentation. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope everybody learned something and that you can utilize this information in your own adventures. Thanks.